Hey, what's going on, Players Lounge? Aaron Murray here, and it is officially game week in Athens, Georgia. And I got two of the best defensive backs to ever play the game at the University of Georgia, Boykin, Kelee, Ringo. We're going to be breaking down the defensive side of the football, talk about some of the guys they lost last year, the guys returning, a little week one preview as well as they get ready for UT Martin. Fellas, appreciate you taking some time to break down the Dogs as we get going.
Yes, sir, man. The season's back. A whole new cast of new guys. It's funny seeing Kelee wearing that black and green instead of that black and red. But as a former Eagle, I won't even say former Eagle. I'm a lifetime Eagle. When you get drafted somewhere, like that's your team for life. So I can't wait to see you ball, brother. And welcome to the family.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me as well, Aaron. Man, just an honor to be a part of the University of Georgia and just be able to represent you guys as well, and of course the Eagles now too. So
Philadelphia Dogs, baby, the new name. The amount of Georgia players that
There
have
you
been in that facility for like a decade. And I got my 1 year there. I didn't have my 4 years like Brandon. And hopefully Kelee has a full like 15-year career there in Philadelphia. And excited to see you do your thing this year. But we ain't here to talk about the Eagles trying to get back to the Super Bowl and actually win it this year. We're here to talk about them Dogs as they get ready for their first matchup this weekend. It was another historic year last year for the University of Georgia on the defensive side of the football. A lot of weapons were lost, especially at the NFL draft. Chris Smith, you yourself, Kelee Ringo, Jalen Carter in the first round to Philadelphia, Nolan Smith, Robert Beal. I mean, the list goes on and on. A lot of guys. And I'll start with you, Boykin. Losing leadership is always tough. And a guy like Chris Smith, who's now with the Raiders, was that ultimate leader. Kelee on the outside, leader, physicality, at the DB position, which Georgia's been known to exemplify nowadays. That big physical DB. Talk about missing, especially those two guys, the leadership and that physicality part of it.
Yeah, without a doubt. Chris and Keely, two tremendous athletes, tremendous leaders, tremendous losses for sure, just in terms of what they bring to the table from a comfort level, right? As if I'm playing in that secondary, I want to play with guys that I know have been on the field, that know what to do, and have been in these big games and have made plays in these big games, right? And so a lot of that is gone now, right? You've got guys like Javon that have played and Kamari that have played, but for the most part, Kelee and Chris were those guys that kind of manned and made you feel comfortable in terms of veteran leadership. But that's gone, and as we kind of alluded to throughout the whole preseason and spring, like new guys are going to step up, right? There's
Yep.
a ton of talent. That I think this is probably the deepest defensive back room that I've seen. Just from the outside looking in, Kelee can probably attest to it being a year removed, but I mean, 5 stars on 5 stars on 5 stars on in every position, and these guys have been waiting their turn to play, right? Like they're hungry, they want to play, and so I feel like the great thing about Kirby is that he lets guys play when you get here, right? Whether it's special teams, you kind of get some reps in some games, but to get your feet on that ground and on that field, it matters. And so when you kind of get into the game, you get a little bit more experience. Maybe week one, week two, you ready to go, man. You're seasoned, and so I think because guys are extremely hungry, and the competition that happens Monday through Friday, just to be able to get on the field, there's so much competition between these two guys that when they get to the field on Saturday, it's easy for them. And so I expect nothing less as this season starts. Obviously, you got some games that are coming up that you kind of get a little bit of a time to warm up before you get in that SEC schedule. But guys will be ready to play, and guys will step up for sure.
Hey, it's Aaron Murray, and we know it's about 70% of you watching this video right now have not yet subscribed to the Players Lounge YouTube channel. So take a second, click the link below, make sure you like the video, also subscribe so you don't miss any great content from our student athletes this entire year. Yeah, and Kelee, we talk about this defense being probably the two of the best defenses that Georgia's ever had, and you were a part of that. I mean, you'll go down for incredible plays you've made in your career, from the national championship to that sweet interception versus Tennessee last year. You were a part of those, like I said, historic defenses, but it just doesn't happen on game day. Like, what made those defense as good as they were over the past couple of years?
I would say just the DNA and man, just the standard that we definitely wanted to hold and continue to maintain throughout the past 2 years that I played there, man. I felt like it definitely, like, I don't know exactly when I felt like it changed all the way,
When we talk about some of those DBs that were missed, I think someone that one of the reasons Georgia's been so dominant is the physicality too, and I think the physicality started at the line of scrimmage. I mean, you had Jordan Davis from 2 years ago who's with you in Philadelphia, then Jalen Carter as well. Like I know a lot of eyes are going to be on that defensive line because there is a sense of we got the linebackers back. We got even with you and Chris gone, we still have built some depth and have some really good guys coming back. And obviously, moving Javon to safety is going to be key. But it's going to be do they have the guys to replace Jalen, those game changers up front, to make the life easy for you guys in the back end where you're not having to cover for 4 or 5, 6 seconds. Ball's out now. You guys are able to make some jumps, be a little bit more aggressive with the ball in the air. So we'll talk about now the returning talent because there is a lot of it. I mean, you think of 2 years ago, all those guys got drafted to the NFL. The question was, okay, can the next crop be as good? And Kelee, you guys were just as good. Well, for all those guys that we just talked about that did leave, that were drafted in the first round, second round, third round, it feels like there's more guys even back this year from Javon Bullard, Tyke Smith, Stackhouse, Kamari Lassiter, Malachi Starks, Dumas Johnson, Michael Williams, Smile Mondin. Like the list goes on and on. Like this is a team that is talented and a defense that is talented, but also is returning a lot of experience. So, Kelee, I want to talk about Javon first. Was great the nickel spot last year. Was hell on high wheels, blitzing off that slot, making that move back to safety. What have you seen from him over your years working with him to say that Javon's going to be fine making that transition?
Javon is obviously, as you guys can see, is already a good player, man. I feel like he's definitely going to continue to grow as well as him being in his leadership role. It definitely feeling the situation that he's about to go through, even after my sophomore season, which was actually my first year playing my redshirt freshman year, and after that year, it was like I'm the leader already. Like I just played like being the youngest person on the defense, and I'm one of the older guys on the team. And it definitely makes you grow a lot more in the game, and I'm having to do little things right, even more in the aspect as when you were younger, of course, man. But I'm definitely expecting a lot out of him for sure, and I feel like, man, he's more than ready for it, 100%. And man, just being able to watch him grow and just the impact that he was able to make on the team last year, and I'm just really excited on what he's been working on and what he's able to showcase.
Is it I don't think either of you've done it where you've gone to safety at all. And correct me if I'm completely wrong if you've played that position at some point in your career, but it can't be an easy transition. I know he was recruited to play safety originally, but talk about that. I know it's all labeled under the DB world, but Boykin, like it can't be that easy of a transition to go from a corner nickel back to the safety spot.
Oh no, I mean it's two completely different worlds. And so actually when I was in Philly, we had certain packages, dime package, nickel package, where I would kind of be like this hybrid safety, and I'm like, man, this is just a different feel back here, right? Like you're so far away from the line of scrimmage, ball comes up the middle, like you're the last guy. And so
Yep.
um in terms of terminology and just the feel, it's different. But I always say, I don't know how Kelee feels as a fellow defensive back, but like nickel is the hardest position to
Yeah.
play, in my opinion. Like you have to do a little bit of everything, right? Like you got to know how to blitz, obviously you got to know how to cover, you got to be able to tackle and be a great tackler. You've got to know the terminology in the defense like you are the leader or the linebacker. And so you gotta disguise coverage. You gotta know it's so much that you gotta do. And so if you can master that position, I feel like everything else may be a little bit easier once you kind of get an edge and a feel for it. And so in terms of Javon, like the thing that he has is that he's an absolute athlete, right? Like
Yep.
he's an athlete and he's confident. Like when you turn on the tape, like there's no hesitation in his game. He's confident. He's going for whatever he sees, and the reaction time is there. And so that's what you want out of a safety, out of a nickel, out of anybody that's like you're expecting to meet guys in the hole or set edges. And so I'm excited for that for him, and I think he'll be fine. And
Yeah.
the other thing that is an advantage is that he's got other guys next to him that have played that can help him out.
Yeah.
Like again, there's no better feeling than having someone that has been in the fire where those live bullets are coming and can help you, right? Like you don't want to be the only one with experience, having to help this person, tell this person where to go. Kelee knows what I'm talking about. It's like
Oh, yeah. Well,
it,
I mean, and the good thing is he does have Malachi next to him too, and Malachi obviously as a true freshman last year was, I mean, from the very first game and against Oregon making the interception, like, all right, this kid's got it. Kelee, at what point did you kind of know during the season or even preseason that this guy is kind of that missing piece, valuable piece that could be a really special safety down the line?
Yeah, Malachi specifically.
Oh yeah,
Man, I feel like one of the specific times was when he was going head to head with I think it might have been Brock. It might have been Brock Bowers. I actually specifically in practice, and there was a couple of balls that were caught, but it's just like he's there though, like he's close enough, and just like being able to see him continue to grow throughout the entire training camp, and just be able to come up with big plays, and of course he was able to showcase that the very first game. But one thing I definitely truly believe in is that whoever's out there on that field, for no matter when you're put out on the field, you are trained. You are you've been put in much harder situations than what you guys are going through in the entire game. What we say is you rely on your training. If you rely on your training, then you're going to be fine throughout any type of situation that you go on the field. So whoever's out there on the field, man, their job's going to be done regardless of no matter who it is, and of course their talent's going to be shown because Coach Smart, he makes sure it's displayed at practice.
I mean, it is those two back there at safety is going to be, Boykin, you said, man, just two great athletes that I was at practice the other day, man. They look scary, scary, scary back there. Another guy who looked scary as hell was the guy that was opposite of Kelee last year, and that's Lassiter, Kamari Lassiter, who was just physical as hell. And I know both of you guys, both played a very physical brand of football on the outside. I remember Kelee. I remember when Boykin went one-on-one with Orson Charles. This was my freshman year. I remember this. This was in like camp or maybe like summertime workouts. And Orson's a big dude, like 6'3", but Boykin locked him up like at the line of scrimmage, like punched him in the chest. And Orson's like, damn, like I didn't know college football was like this. Like, and obviously we know you and how physical you are. Boykin, talk about what you've seen from Kamari and that style of play of DBs wanting to get after it.
Yeah, the funny thing for me is like I always say, if I was recruited to Georgia now, I don't know like if I would have done what I did. You know what I'm saying? Because guys are just so much bigger, faster, stronger now. Like Kelee probably towers over me, bro. Like if we're being honest, like the dudes are
Keelee's
just
big
so
as hell
much
for a
bigger.
DB though.
Yeah, and so when you talk about Kamari, it's the same, right? Like he's a big dude and he's physical and there's no hesitation in his game. Like so when you combine all of that and the confidence to go out and make plays, like whether you're right or you're wrong, you're going full speed. And then you start making those plays as a defensive back, and then it's like, okay, like I know I can do this. I played in the big games. I'm calm, I'm confident, I'm poised. Like that's a deadly combination. And so I'm excited to see him a lot in coverage, to be honest. Like we know he's physical. We know that he can come down and lay a hit. But I've also seen him be patient in man coverage. I also seen him not panic when the ball's in the air. And so those are the things that like are that next level of next level of evolving as a player, as a well-rounded player. And so people are talking about this secondary being strength of the defense, and it starts with those guys back there. So we will see. Saturday and these Saturdays moving forward because they're going to throw the ball, right? They're going to be
Oh
tested,
yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to test them. But I will agree with you. Like that is definitely the strength of the defense. As we kind of transition a little bit to looking ahead to this weekend's game for UT Martin, what's the message, Kelee? You've been in the locker room before games, whether it's a a Group of 5 team or a Power 5 team, an SEC team, whatever. What is Kirby's message pretty consistent? Does it change game to game? Like, what would be that message heading into this weekend's matchup?
Man, from being over there past 3 years, I definitely would say leave your mark. I feel like, of course, everybody's having a standard for what we should be or expecting a certain thing, but I feel like they don't have to do anything but going out there and do what we've been shown to do throughout training camp and all off season. Of course, because obviously your best is definitely enough, and I feel like if we continue to play to our standard, then I feel like we shouldn't have any problems throughout the entire season. And I feel like that's going to continue to be displayed, and I have high confidence in all the boys, because I know every single one of them. So,
What could this defense be the best of the past 3 years because of how good the defensive backs are? Kelee?
man, time will tell. Of
Keely
course,
doesn't want to hear that because he wants to make sure one of his defenses are the best.
man. Hey, I just want to be honest, man. Time will tell, because I don't like to throw certain scenarios out there, because things happen, So I respect every. If you play at the University of Georgia, I respect you 100% because I know how hard it is. I know what you have to go through to wear that red and black man and be coached by the coaches that want the best out of you. So there's going to be days that you're like, man, you have to love football to be able to do this. Because it's not for the weak. So
No.
I have a lot of respect for those that wear that red and black for sure.
All right, Boykin, when you do look at some of the new guys that are going to be showing up to Georgia, is there someone that, man, you're excited to see on the field? Maybe not just for the first time, but maybe more of a starting role, playing a bigger role heading into the season.
Yeah, there's a few dudes to be honest. I actually am excited about seeing Tyke Smith like coming back.
Yeah.
He, injuries and again, Kelee, it was in the thick of it, so he probably knows exactly what was going on. But like, I feel like the dude was an All American, right? Like, and things just maybe haven't gone his way. And so, obviously, Javon moving to safety, he'll probably be able to get reps at nickel where he's played and been comfortable. But I'm excited to see Janelle Aguero. He's a freshman,
Yeah.
true freshman. He was one of the guys that I spoke to a lot when he was getting recruited, and again, a big dude, big physical dude, and so
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he can make an immediate impact. He may not, be a day one starter, but I think as he gets comfortable, he'll be somebody that'll be hunting heads and making plays on defense. So I'm excited to see those two guys. Um, Everybody's talked about Dalen and Nyland, and so I mean, we got to see him in action, right? Like we got to see. I'm always gonna be hard on the corner, so it's like I'm excited, but I want to see what's going down for real when the ball is in the air, when it's a night game, when we're not playing, Sanford or Tennessee Martin, like let's see what's going down. So I'm excited to see who comes and becomes the new five on the outside, and somebody will. Like that's just how it goes. Like
Yeah.
Kelee said, if you play at the University of Georgia and you're on that field, it's because you deserve to be on that field and you're prepared to be
Mm-hmm.
on that field. So somebody will be prepared to be that next guy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Too good. Too damn good. All right. Before I let you two go, got to get a score prediction. We're shooting this show on Monday night, so still got about 5 days to the game, but score prediction. Kelee, you're up first. What's the final score of the first game going to be?
Um, I'll say 35-0.
Only 35 for the offense.
Dang, bro. No. But the thing is, like, I don't know how Coach Smart is. Okay, I don't know because there's sometimes where we'll just run the ball out, and then there's times where we'll keep scoring. But I feel like for the first game, um, we dropped like 60. I'll say 42, 42, 42.
Okay,
42.
42-0. Boykin, what do you got?
Nothing. Yeah, I'm feeling like it's gonna be like 50, 51-3.
All right, stick a little field
51-3.
goal there.
Those are good numbers. Those are good
Yeah,
numbers.
I like
51-3.
that.
I feel like the defense is really coming out, like they're gonna come out trying to establish like this is our team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's the standard now. And so
Mm-hmm.
I want to say 0, but like of course, it's the first game. There's gonna be a lot of dudes playing,
Man.
a lot of young dudes gonna play.
Mhm.
I give them 3, 51-3.
All right, 51-3. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you two jumping on. Excited to do some more stuff with you guys here in the future as we continue to cover Georgia from a different perspective. And that's kind of the goal here at the Players Lounge, covering the game from the eyes of those on the roster. We got 3 great shows right now, led by current student athletes at the University of Georgia. So make sure you check them out. And then also getting the perspective of those guys that have been in their shoes on that field, that knows what the day-to-day grind is. So Kelee, good luck this year, man. Kick some butt.
Good luck, brother.
Fly birds fly. Boykin, appreciate you. I'll see you actually tomorrow morning for another show. But